Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
As we near the new school year, some kindergarten parents are wondering if keeping their child at home is best given the concerns over COVID-19.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly spoke with a Fargo parent who's faced with this choice and what experts recommend you should consider before deciding.
This is his first year of school, and this is his normal then. So this will be what school looks like normally for him. And that makes me a little sad.
Becca Nelson's son was preparing for kindergarten at Lewis and Clark Elementary this fall when she realized this would not be an ordinary school year due to COVID-19.
Putting on the masks, using hand sanitizer all the time, not being able to be as interactive with your friends as you normally would be.
Unsure if this is the experience she wants for her son, Nelson says she debated avoiding kindergarten as it's not required in the state of North Dakota.
Initially, when I found out that it was going to be revised, I wasn't happy about it. I was nervous about it. Anxiety, all of that hits in, like what is it going to look like?
Experts stress that this is a difficult decision for parents to make because on one hand, keeping them home helps keep them from getting sick from the coronavirus. But on the other hand, experts say that kids need stimulation and interaction, which schools can give.
Our child and many children at this age require a routine, a set schedule, stimulation and social interaction, and our kid definitely needs that.
This and the precautions the school district has laid out in its re-entry plan are what made Nelson decide that going to kindergarten is the best choice. When deciding your school plan, the CDC says each family should consider things like their risk level to COVID-19 based on their health conditions, the mental and emotional impact of social interaction, and the family's situational needs. In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
To read the CDC's school decision-making tool for parents, caregivers, and guardians, you can head over to our website or the VNL News app.
College students are already on their way back to NDSU's campus. It's a bittersweet task for parents as they drop off their young adults at school, and it's going to look different with COVID-19 concerns. Sherry Radford, a mother of an NDSU student, described today's move-in experience as quiet. She and her husband spent most of the day moving in their son in hopes of keeping his mind at ease as he heads into the fall semester.
I think the school has done most of the precautions that they need to, and I think that they're going to make sure these kids are safe.
3,200 students will be checking into NDSU's residence halls this fall. To learn more about move-in day rules, you can find them on our Valley News Live app.
And as those college students head back to campus, the North Dakota University system is asking them to get tested first for COVID-19. However, the CDC says the data does not support that. The CDC says there's not enough research to prove it's more effective than other social distancing options. University Chancellor Mark Hagerott said they're moving forward with their testing requests. He thinks the CDC is basing its stance off of a cost-benefit analysis.
If you're a state that doesn't have as robust testing as we have, and some of our neighboring states are way behind, then of course, if you can't offer it, you probably go to point source, people who are right here, right now.
North Dakota lawmakers recently discussed the option of requiring testing before returning to campus. The biggest point against it was that there would be too many transmissible moments between the time of the test and the first day of classes for the results to remain relevant. We have updated COVID-19 numbers for North Dakota and Minnesota. North Dakota is reporting 124 new cases in the state. The daily positivity rate is 2.2%. In Minnesota, 629 new cases have been reported. For a full breakdown of the numbers, you can log on to our website, valleynewslive.com.
A West Fargo man called our whistleblower hotline, upset with the amount of money taken out of his security deposit when he moved out of his apartment. He says it was excessive and asked us to look into it. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie did so and has the results.
Most who rent look forward to getting their security deposit back at the end of the lease. But when Eric Zwingle opened his check, it was the opposite feeling.
I was very upset because there were a few things that I knew, maybe would have been cleaned or touched up, but they took a large chunk of the deposit, roughly about 60%.
He's been renting from Meridian Property Management in West Fargo for 2 years, and he just signed another lease with them at another location.
What we're upset about is that they're taking advantage of people that are renting from them, and they're making money off the security deposit and basically saying, too bad.
If you rent like Zwingle, it might be a good idea to brush up on your rights. Deposits can cost as much as 1 month's rent, more if you have a pet. Landlords can deduct for damages or unpaid rent, but not for normal wear and tear. What has Zwingle so upset? When he questioned them, he says they indicated the money from his deposit went to repairs that he didn't feel were needed. Repairs that included nail holes and painting that added up to more than $500. We reached out to Meridian. They simply said, legally, they've done nothing wrong. And the law says your landlord can charge you as much as they determine needed for damages, even more than your security deposit. So what options do renters have? We also reached out to the Attorney General's office. They say they can't take complaints for renters and landlord disputes, saying you'll have to try your luck in small claims court.
To file a report against a big company like Meridian in Jordan is going to cost them more money than what they have, so most people just eat it.
But Zwingle's not most people, saying he's ready to fight in court. In West Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Your landlord can keep the full deposit until the end of the lease. If your lease is longer than 9 months, North Dakota law says they have to pay interest on it. Now, if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, how about calling our whistleblower hotline, 701-237-6576. Call that number and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
The U.S. Court of Appeals ruled today that a district court judge made an error in his order to shut down the Dakota Access Pipeline. Appeals court judges said the lower court didn't make a strong enough justification from the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe's argument to close the pipeline. The ruling states the pipeline can continue operating for Energy Transfer Partners while they resume their completion of an environmental review. Reacting to the news, U.S. Senator John Hoeven said in part, "We welcome the court's decision to allow the pipeline's continued operation during the appeals process, recognizing it is significant benefits to North Dakota and our nation's energy security." If you live in Cass or Clay counties, don't forget the Code Red emergency messaging system will be discontinued on September 1st. So if you'd like to get local emergency notifications, you should sign up for the new system, Cass Clay Alerts. Code Red will not be transferred automatically to the new system.
West Fargo's police need your help in finding a 16-year-old girl who hasn't been seen for a couple of weeks. Sumia Mukadim left home on July 20th. She's 5'9", 146 pounds, long black hair and black eyes. She's been seen on video at the West Acres Mall being dropped off and picked up by 2 different people in 2 different vehicles. Police in Bemidji are also looking for a missing teenage girl. 14-year-old Rebecca Lewis was last seen just after midnight at the Evergreen Youth Shelter. She's 5'2", about 120 pounds, with brown eyes, long brown hair with red tints. Lewis was last seen wearing a gray V-neck dress with white Nike Air Jordan tennis shoes. She has a pierced nose and several scars on her wrist and legs. If you've seen any of the 2 girls mentioned, call police.
You'll likely want to watch your speedometer a little closer now as you drive on a portion of I-29 in South Fargo. Drivers headed south on I-29 just after 32nd Avenue to just past 52nd Avenue will notice the speed limit changes from 55 to 65 miles per hour, not the 75 miles per hour it used to be. The North Dakota DOT says they had to change the speed limit because of more traffic and urban growth in that area.
A resident of downtown Fargo says people are afraid to answer their doors and leave their apartments. Wade Maroney lives at the Graver Inn Apartments and says he sometimes finds people passed out drunk inside. Just last week, a man was arrested and charged for terrorizing. Building management tell us that the building is secure for residents.
I'm speaking on behalf of all the residents that are living by the rules, and they're scared to death. They're scared to open their doors.
Management tells us that they are thinking about upgrading security to protect residents, and that includes having someone at the front door throughout the night. They're also consulting with other downtown Fargo businesses.